Can I help you make more money with the Amazon Influencer Program?
I hope so.
If you're new here, my name's Adam and I am a full-time Amazon influencer, meaning that I can pay all of my bills every month with a check from Amazon. Within 3 months, I've been able to scale this business to sometimes over $200 per day, and I believe that I have some tips and tricks that you could be using if you want to see the same results as me.
I don't want to be like you anymore.
So I've had a lot of people in my comments and in personal messages telling me or complaining that they have about the same number of videos that I have and they're making nowhere near as much money as I am. So in today's video, I'm going to show you my exact strategy for some of the things that I think are most important in this program that you should be looking out for, and the things that you can be doing to maximizing your results. In spoilers, some of those things revolve around the title and thumbnail, so I'm going to actually show you my exact strategy to making thumbnails and titles for the videos, which seem to be working pretty well for me, so feel free to do things similar to what I'm doing.
I'll let you get to it then.
So let's first take a look at my stats and I'll show you what things I think you should be paying attention to if you want to make more money. Okay, so here are my stats, and for the sake of simplicity, let's just focus on the number of videos, the total earnings per day and or per month, and the conversion rate. So far this month, I have about 230 videos live, and I'm averaging over $120 per day, meaning that each one of my videos that I have in my storefront is worth 50 cents or over 50 cents per day. Or if you want to look at it on a monthly basis, then each one of my videos is worth $15 per month. So if I have 100 videos, that's $50 per day. If I have 200 videos, that's $100 per day. I have over 200 videos and I'm making over $100 per day.
I get it.
Makes sense, right?
Yes, I understand.
And my conversion rate is 17.66%, meaning that after all the clicks happen, 16,898 clicks, 2,985 times people actually had the item shipped to them. So that's a 17.66% conversion rate, and I think this is an important metric that we're going to look at a little bit closer here. But if your stats are way better than mine, then you can just turn this video off right now and maybe go down in the comments and leave some of your tips and tricks for us. But if your stats are not where mine are, if you are not making 50 cents per video per day or at least $15 per video per month, and your conversion rate is less than 17%, then stick around because I'm going to show you my exact strategy for how I get my metrics to hit those numbers.
I'm listening.
So one thing also I want to mention, and we're not going to really talk about in this video, is there could be huge discrepancies in the amount that you're making based on the types of products you're reviewing. So if you review 100 products, but each one of those products only costs $1, and there's tons of competition or nobody's buying those products, you're obviously not going to make a lot. But if you have 100 videos and each one of those products you reviewed is worth $1,000 and there's tons of sales being made and there's no competition, then you're going to be making outrageous amounts of money, way more than I am. But I'm not going to focus on that in this particular video. We can do that in a different one because I think I have a really good cross-section of the normal types of things that people would probably review. I have $1 items and I have $400 items, and I have everything in between. Mainly things that I have just around my house. So I think I am a pretty fair representation of the average types of products being sold. So let's just ignore that one for this particular video, and we're going to move on to the things that I think are helping me be successful.
Can you just tell me your secret?
Okay, so there are 3 things that you need to be successful in the Amazon Influencer Program. If you can do these 3 things with integrity, you should at the very least be making what I'm making or a lot more, and hopefully be making it for a long time. And those 3 things are: you need to get people to click on your video. The next thing is, once they click on your video, they need to watch it, at least 30 seconds of it, preferably the whole thing. And then the third thing is you need to influence that person to then go ahead and make a purchase.
Obviously.
So let's talk about those and dissect those in reverse order, because I think that's the order of importance. The least important thing, in my personal opinion, is influencing them to buy.
And I know that sounds crazy,
Because I think if they're already on that purchase page, they've already kind of considered buying it, they're already pretty much pot committed, they're probably going to buy it with or without your video. All they need is a little push in the right direction. If you just say a couple of nice things about that product, I think they're going to go ahead and buy it anyway. They're just doing their due diligence and they're just researching whatever's available. So if your video is the only thing available, even if you do a poor job at selling it, I still think there is a pretty good chance they're going to buy that product. But always keep that in mind. Try not to talk a customer out of buying something. If there's a product that you have that you think is bad and people shouldn't be buying it, don't do a video on it. Seems pretty obvious, right?
That's right.
And if there is one thing you don't like, maybe say it in a bit nicer light, but then really focus on the things that you do really like about the product. Always have in the back of your mind that Amazon is going to reward those people with high conversion rates, like the 17, the 20%. There's a reason they put it in the reporting platform, because they need you to sell products. So keeping an eye on your conversion rate and keeping in mind that you are trying to influence these people, it's right in the name, Amazon influencer. You're trying to influence these people to make a sale. It should be pretty obvious, but again, like I said, I think it's the least important. Let's move on to the next one. The next important thing is getting them to watch your whole video, or at least 30 seconds of it. And for me, I think that the spirit of this program is the Amazon influencer. Amazon, I believe, wants influencers. I believe they want personality. I believe they want people on the camera. If you click on someone's video and you can't even see them, it's just a hand saying, check this out. Do you like this? It's cool. You should buy it. I think that could work, especially right now, early on in the program. But I think in the long term, Amazon might start pushing towards people that are influencing people. If you have a little bit of a personality, if you can tell a little bit of a story, I think that's going to be better in the long run.
I hope you're wrong about this.
I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because they don't like to see their face on video, or they don't like to hear their own voice. They just want to have faceless videos. I think those can work for sure, but in my opinion, I think it might work a little bit better if you are an actual personality on camera that people can at least enjoy watching. And one of the key things to making people want to buy and to making people want to stay on your video are personal anecdotes telling why you use this product, and identifying a problem and telling why this product's going to solve that problem. So do those things in every one of your videos, and you're going to get that sale, and you're going to get people to watch your videos, in my opinion. But the number one thing, the thing that is most important for me specifically, is getting people to click on your video in the first place. Even if you're the best salesperson in the world, even if you're the most influential person and you're really good at selling products, even if you've done everything right, you've identified the problem, you've told the exact reasons why this is going to solve it, if no one clicks on your video and watches it, it's completely useless. So in my opinion, that is one of the key metrics, and that comes with the title and the thumbnail. Those are the two things that get people to click on your video. So those are the two things I think you should be really focused on.
I'm focused.
So how do we do that? Well, let's do an actual real live example, and I'll show you kind of what I do, and I think that this is working well for me. So here is a generic video. Nothing exciting about this video. This is a pair of water shoes that I'm going to use this summer for kayak. So you'll notice that nothing fancy, no fancy lighting. It's the exact same setup that I'm using right here. It's very simple. I don't have multiple angles. I'm not walking around outside. I'm truly just sitting in front of my desk holding up something and talking about it. But you'll notice for the first 15 seconds, I don't even unbox this product yet. It takes all the way to second 15 before I start opening up, because I'm telling a story about how I like to go kayaking in the summer, but we don't call it kayaking, we call it floating, because we don't actually really kayak around. We just lay in it and drink adult beverages and enjoy the sun. But when you get out of the kayak into the river, the rocks hurt your feet and it's really slippery, so having a pair of really nice water shoes is important. That already got 15 or 20 seconds worth of the video done, so people were watching it to hear my kind of story, but then I'm also identifying the problems with kayaking, and the solution is these pair of shoes. So that's how we keep them there, and that's how we get them to buy the product at the end of it. But how do we get them there? So what I would do would just be to scrub through and find a decent place to stop that would make a nice screenshot. For example, this one isn't too bad right here, but there's also a little bit more psychology that you can use here if you want. So on things like YouTube, negativity works even better than positivity. If you say this is the best product in the world and I love it, not a lot of people are going to click on it. But if you say, oh, you're going to hate this about this product, people are going to want to click on it to understand what they're going to hate. Or this is the worst scam product I've ever seen, right? People want to click on the drama. They want to click on the negative. On Amazon, we can't really do that because we want them to buy the products, and we don't want to give negative reviews on Amazon, but you can still use the psychology. So sometimes you can try to find a still in your video, and I found one here at 109, I think it is. Let me find it here. So this still right here, I'm giving like a negative face. I'm pointing at it and going, ah. So if I just had this as my thumbnail, it psychologically looks like maybe I'm upset with this. Maybe there's some things I don't like about this. Should you buy this thing? Something like that I think is going to get better clicks than, look at these shoes, they're so awesome. So the thumbnail that you choose, I think, is important. So a lot of times I try to pick thumbnails where I'm looking a little bit negative maybe, or at least that I'm looking like I'm in mid-conversation. So it doesn't look like just a stock photography video or photo. Like, right? To me, that looks stock. I want an actual human being discussing their actual thoughts on the actual product. So I try to take a screenshot of a portion of the thumbnail where I'm actually talking, like, you know, where my mouth is moving and it looks like I'm actually talking about the product. I think those little things help. But then I also use a program called Photopea, and it is an online program. It's a free online version of Photoshop, essentially. But I have a saved PSD file that I upload. So I would take the screenshot, and let's do that. On a Mac, you can just Shift Command and 4, and you can take a screenshot of anything. So I clip this screenshot, and then I put it right here in Photopea, make sure it's the right size. And I use bright green text. You can change the text and move it around. And I use a bright green arrow as well. So what I like to do is point at the thing that I'm talking about using an arrow. Don't know why it works, do some thumbnail research or go watch a YouTube video on best thumbnails that work and you will see these types of things. I have an arrow pointing to it, which really points out the item and shows that you're gonna be telling something specific about this that you need to understand. Again, just those little psychological things. Bright green, it's going to stand out. An arrow pointing towards whatever you're holding. And my face being in the midst of conversation and maybe even a little bit negative. At the very least, something like my thoughts. Something very generic that could be anything. Are my thoughts good? Are my thoughts bad? Or a lot of times I'll put, you know, like 3 smart things about this. Or I buy this brand for this one reason, right? Don't tell what that reason is. Make sure in the video you tell what that reason is, but not in the title, not in the thumbnail, but reasons why they need to click on your video. Like, if you buy this brand, watch out for this one thing. That's going to get more people to click on it because they need to know what that one thing is. But make sure you do it with integrity. If you are going to use that in your thumbnail or your title, make sure that you actually have that one thing in there that you're going to tell them is the reason why you bought that. So maybe this, for example, the one reason I prefer these water shoes over any other. Then maybe I do the video saying, okay, I buy these particular water shoes because they have this really nice lace up feature where most water shoes just slip on. When the current's too strong, it pulls them right off your feet. These ones have laces, so that one feature alone makes these a really good buy in my opinion. So the title needs to be enticing. The thumbnail needs to be enticing, maybe even bordering on negative looking without actually being negative.
That doesn't make sense.
By taking these little tiny things into account, and I know you're probably thinking, yeah, right, just throw up a thumbnail or whatever the generic thumbnail is for that video when you upload it, that should be enough. And it could be enough in many cases. But I think by making sure people are clicking on your thumbnail, you're going to get more views, more sales, and the more sales you get, Amazon is going to start promoting your stuff over other people's. And I think this comes into play specifically when you're trying to rank on the top carousel for items that already have 6 videos. I've been able to burst my way into some of those, and right now it might just be because of how new the program is, but it also might be because I am paying attention to these little psychological sales mechanisms that are helping to get my videos more views.
Could be right.
All right, well, I think this video is long enough, and I hope this helped at least a few of you. Make sure that you are getting a good click-through rate by having really good titles and really good thumbnails that are enticing. And then once they're there, make sure you're identifying the problem and telling why this is going to solve it, and that's going to help them also to stick around and to then make the purchase. Those 3 things are going to make your videos a little bit more successful than maybe other people who aren't thinking about these things. So if this helped you, then please do all of those things you're supposed to do to help the channel grow, and I'll see you in the next one.
Who does this guy think he is?